Hey guys, welcome to another edition of In My Opinion, a weekly video meme from me, writefromkaren.com. Hope you're joining in. If not, hey, I hope these videos are even halfway entertaining for you. Okay, the questions are, describe your best live musical performance you've ever attended. There are three that I can remember. We went to see Martina McBride, Keith Urban, and Van Halen. I know that seems like a strange mix, but I think I've mentioned in a previous video that I like all kinds of music. So, whatever. And I don't even know why we went to these concerts. We're not big concert people. We do not go very often at all. I think those are the only three that I've ever gone to in my entire life. And I would like to go more, but I'm too cheap because they're pretty expensive tickets. So, Martina McBride. Loved her. Her concert was fantastic. Her voice blew me away. I mean, she sounds 10 times better live than she does on her recording. Her voice is incredible. It's just incredible, and I so enjoyed her concert. She gave me goosebumps. Just beautiful, beautiful voice. And then Keith Urban was awesome. He had so much energy and just a great show overall. And not to mention, eye candy. Huge crush on Keith Urban. This was before he even married Nicole Kidman. He first came on the scene when we went to go see him in concert. I'm sure it's probably 10 times better now, but it was a great concert, and it was just really fun to see him up there. And he sounded really good too, really good live. Because there's some singers you listen to and it's like, but because they don't sound that great live. But Martina McBride and Keith Urban, fantastic. I mean, I would definitely go hear them again if they were ever close by. And then the last one was Van Halen. We went to St. Louis to go see them. Kevin has always been a huge Van Halen fan. Eddie Van Halen has been kind of his idol when it comes to electric guitar. He plays electric guitar himself, so Eddie has inspired him to, experiment and just be a better musician overall. So when we found out they were going to be within driving distance of home, and considering they probably weren't going to be around much longer and touring as a group much longer, which they weren't after we went to see them, we went and saw them, and it was fantastic. We stayed in a hotel within walking distance of the center they played at, and I took earplugs with me because I knew they were going to be loud, and they were very loud. And I mean, even with earplugs in, I could hear them clearly. It was a great concert. It was just really kind of awe-inspiring to be in the same room with an 80s icon band. I mean, I grew up with Van Halen. I love Van Halen music. So it was really kind of surreal to be in the same room as these fantastic musicians, and all the music just brought back so many memories. It was a good time. What scents bring back vivid memories for you? That's the second question. I can only really think of one off the top of my head that anytime I smell it just makes me want to puke. I mean, makes me nauseous. Just the thought of talking about this scent makes me want to puke. Wild onions. You know how they grow in batches in your yard? I don't know how old I was. I don't even know why I did this. But I ate a bunch of those suckers one time. Pulled them out of the ground, washed them, ate them, and I got so sick on those things. I remember throwing up like 7 times. Yes, I counted, because I could not believe how sick I was after eating these things. And to this day, when I smell that wild onion smell, it just makes me sick to my stomach. It was just so nasty. I will never, probably ever be able to eat wild onions again, ever. I don't know what I was thinking. And the last question, is the price of gas making you drive less? Well, you really want to get political? Because I can get political. But I won't. I'll keep it fairly low-key. Though I will say, because I have to, that our gas situation would not be so bad if our president would lift the moratorium on drilling in the Gulf, and we utilized the pockets of oil that we have just sitting around in our country, then not only would gas prices go down because we would have a supply of gas, But we wouldn't have to rely so much on these foreign countries for our oil. We wouldn't have to kiss their butts because we would be afraid that they would cut off our oil supply. So hey, that's just my opinion. But are they making us drive less, the prices of gas? Well, nobody likes to pay more, that's for sure. And it's kind of sickening when you have to, dish out $40-50 to fill up your tank every 2 weeks or whatever. But we're fortunate in the fact that I don't drive that much. The office, the kids' schools, our grocery store, everything that we have to go to is fairly close to our house. So, I don't have to drive that far to begin with to get wherever I need to go. And we were fortunate enough to trade in our Ford Escape. We traded in because the transmission was acting a little wonky. We didn't want to have to replace the transmission. And it was time anyways, like 7 years. But we traded it in for a Pontiac Vibe, which is what I drive now. And that sucker is great on gas. I mean, it gets like 30 miles to the gallon. Even more on the highway. So I haven't been that affected by high gas prices because I don't drive that much. I don't drive very far when I drive, and I drive a fuel-efficient car. So that really, really helps. Now, Kevin drives an older truck, Ford F-150, and Dude drives a Chevy Cavalier. Those cars are older, and they do guzzle a little bit more gas. So yeah, it costs a little bit more to fill their tanks up. But, again, we don't have to drive that far. Kevin just drives back and forth to work. Anytime we all go together to go do something, we take my car. And Dude just drives to school, back and forth to school, and soon to work, whenever and whatever that ever happens to be. So again, we don't spend that much money on gas because we don't venture that far from our home. I know there are a lot of people out there that have to drive 20-30 miles to work one way every day, and that takes a big toll on the gas, I'm sure. So I know that a lot of people are hurting with gas prices right now, and I don't know. And not to sound like a spoiled American or anything, but I mean, I feel bad complaining about $4 per gallon, but when there's so many other things in the world that are so much worse. But boy, that really affects you. I mean, because you have less money to, to buy other things like food, pay your bills. So yeah, it's a problem. So I don't know. I just hope that we can get this resolved and somehow get through to our politicians. And I'm not just talking about the Democratic Party. I'm talking politicians in general, both parties. Stop playing politics with our lives, people, and let's make some common sense decisions here and start utilizing some of the gas that we have here at home. I don't understand why they don't. I just don't understand why they don't choose that option. It's just, I don't know. Politics drives me nuts. Doesn't it just drive you nuts? Anyway, let's hope the gas prices don't stay up there very much longer because it's hurting a lot of people and just not a good deal. So that's all I have to say for this week, guys. Have a great week. Talk to you soon. Bye.